Well, hello everyone, and my name is Laurie Smith, and I'm doing the One Child Abuse Survivor to Another show tonight. Glad to be here. Haven't been around for about a month, and the last shows that I did were a couple of prayers for just praying for the situations around the world, especially Ukraine at that time, and which I'm still praying. But I've just busy, kind of trying to survive as a survivor of child abuse. And sometimes it goes smooth, and sometimes it just doesn't. Um, you know, these April is the National Child Abuse Awareness Prevention Month down in the states, and I always usually broadcast at that time and during the month of April. And so I'm going to plan on doing a show every single night of the month of April. So that's my commitment to it because I'm getting older now, as you can all tell, and I'm getting tired. I mean, I've only got so many more years to do this stuff, and but I wanted to use my voice as long as I could to make a difference for children out here, for today, for tomorrow. You know, children are dying, right? And I mean, all around the world. And I'm a survivor who just happened to make it. My parents didn't kill me, but the thing is it's been a hard road as a survivor of abuse, as anybody who's been abused knows. And it's not easy. It's not easy to keep going, especially when things get hard and things get tough. And you know, we may have some PTSD issues going on. That's what's going on with me right now. Um, you know, stuff that comes back to sort of re-haunt me, even though I've already worked through the issues many years ago. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. This can happen to survivors. It's kind of like a setback. But really, what it is it opens the door for more healing because when stuff like this happens, anything that comes up that brings us maybe backward in our healing journey as a survivor of abuse of any type, um, it's almost, I mean, I'm not thankful for it, but it is showing me that it is another opportunity to even get further past that and to solidify what I've done in my healing journey and grow a bit more, and to overcome these things, right? Because it is very difficult. My main problem is self sabotage. I self sabotage my life all the time, and I've been doing it since I was a young person, young, preteen, teenager, young adult, all the way through my life. I'm always sabotaging my life. And I'm like, I've gotten, since I started my healing journey in basically 2009. So it's been a few years now. I've made a lot of progress because I'm seeing what I've seen, what I'm doing, what I need to change, how I need to handle things as an adult. I'm almost like, well, I'm going to be 57 this year, so I'm almost 60. You'd think I'd figure something out by now, but it's hard, right? Unless these things come against us, we don't know that we're even having these issues. For instance, I'm not going to mention too much about this, but it's an issue with my job and my boss. You know, I've had some terrible bosses in the last 3 years, actually two, who threw me back for a loop in my healing journey. They really brought me down to sort of a bad place again, where I've felt I'm not worthy, like I'm not that I'm stupid because I know that I'm not, that I'm dumb or incapable. I know that I'm a capable adult. But the issue is it's that little part of me that was so wounded as a child who's still there. And so if somebody does something to me like really harsh and hurtful, I have a really hard time as an adult dealing with it. And I mean, we have to have boundaries set. We really do. And we also have those boundaries, really what they are, is knowing what you're going to allow in your life and what you're not going to allow. And, you know, are we going to allow somebody to take advantage of us, or are we going to set up a boundary so that, people can't take advantage of us? And we need to set up a boundary that we're not going to take any advantage of anybody else either. It has to work both ways. Um, Trust issues, I mean, I want to trust. I want people to trust me. I mean, I've had um, positions at work in banks and stuff that were very secure positions. I had to have clearance, high clearance to be able to do these positions. And so I've held positions of trust in the past, basically in my 30s, and mainly my 30s, and even a little bit in my 40s. So, um, it's not that I don't feel that I'm, people don't trust me or whatever, because they do. But the issue is if if it if I run into a situation where, for instance, this just happened just a few days ago, where I had like a yearly meeting, with my boss, and I just heard, I guess, what I was expecting to hear, which was not at all what she said. I had to go back and clarify with her, because I was really feeling hurt by the comments that she had made, and I really took them to heart. And I was like, wow, maybe I just, I know I don't suck that bad, you know what I mean? But maybe I do. You know what I mean? Part of me is still that little wounded person, that wounded child, really, who just wanted to be accepted, wanted love, wanted to be, cared about and taken care of and helped, and you know, just made a part of the family. I've never really felt like I belong anywhere. I still don't today. I don't have any family really, and I have some extended family way off in Nova Scotia. We're not close. I love them dearly, but I know them just from meeting them a couple times, but I don't really know them that well. So really, I'm on my own, and I don't, have a family. I don't have anybody really who's around me who can help to support, even to support me emotionally or anything else like that. So I'm very much on my own. And so when something happens, I don't have anybody to go to run it through, to run it by them. Like when my husband was alive, he was very good at that because he would help me to sort of make sense of things. He'd be like, "Oh, just let it roll off. It's let it roll off. Just relax." He was very, very calming, and he would listen and just try to be a support. So, but he's not here anymore, so I have to do this myself. You know, um, and just realize that, hey, I'm a person with rights. Just because I was abused as a child doesn't mean I have to let people run all over me as an adult. But then again, I need to be careful, because what happens is there's many times where, for instance, I'm just talking about this issue with my boss from 3 days ago, or however many days ago. No, it's actually going on a week now. That I kind of misinterpreted what she had said, and was just assuming that, here's another boss that's out to get me, sort of thing. There's another boss that's just going to just, you know, not do the right thing by me, is basically what it is. So it's almost like, because I was abused and hurt as a child, everybody is in that role to me. And I explained that in my books. Everybody was an abuser. To me, when I was growing up, because in my home, in my household, was so abusive, everybody in the house was being abused or being an abuser. So uh, that's all I knew. And so I just thought that that's the way life was for pretty much everybody. And when I started to realize from friends, I'd go to friends' homes, and their families were, nobody in the family was, yelling or beating on their children, or, you know, attacking their wife or their husband. And so, I was like, wow, it's nice over here. There's none of the same stuff going on over here that's going on in my house. So I noticed the difference, and I started to realize that not everybody's an abuser, right? So um, I didn't trust my teachers. Like, seriously, I did not trust anybody. And I still have trust issues today. But like I said, I'm working on all this, because I have, through the years, made great progress. Um, but every now and then, something will come up and it just knocks me back down. So maybe just feeling insecure, in the world today, this mess that we've going on, all of us that are here on this planet right now have had to deal with for the last few years, and that hasn't helped. And then just being, always kind of so broke. That's my problem. I just really, everything's so expensive, so I'm always just that far away from the curb, right? And I'm like, wow, this is really harsh. If anything happens and I lose my job, you know, how am I going to make it? I won't be able to. It's not like I can go crash on somebody's couch like I used to when I was young. just to avoid a beating or whatever. I'd go stay with my friends. Their parents were cool. They'd let me stay at their house. I'd sleep on their couch, and you know, they'd let me have some food. And some of them actually let me stay for weeks. Used to, wash my clothes and take care of me. Really nice people. But I don't have anybody like that today, and so I have to be very careful what I'm doing. So as an adult, and I think, well, no, I can look after myself. I can do this, right? It's very hard to find a job, especially at this age. You hit this age, and everybody's like, about all you're good for now is a Walmart greeter, lady. You know what I mean? And I have lots of skills, tons and tons of skills. But there's a lot of young people out there that need jobs. I don't want to take a job from somebody that really needs it. Young people that have families, children that they're trying to raise. So I'm happy just barely making it. And but the thing is like I kind of sabotage all of my jobs all the time. I've been doing it for a long time. It was pointed out to me by a job coach many years ago, actually. I'd say, oh, I don't even know. It was a long time ago. And this job coach was like, you can keep running if you want to, because that's what you're doing. You're just running from your past. You're running. I mean, I've run away from countries. I've run to different countries. I just run all the time. And it's like, she's like, or you can stand up for yourself. So I decided to stand up for myself with this issue with my boss. And the issue is that my boss didn't even say what I said she had said. I'm just hearing that I'm just that no good person. I'm not capable, and nobody wants me around, sort of thing, right? Because that's how I grew up. So, um, I had to seriously sit down and do some serious thought this last few days, just realizing that wow, I still need some work. I still am working through things and still need to keep working on things. Um, Not everybody is out to do something to hurt me, and that's just my mentality because I was abused. Is that I really have to watch um, myself all the time. I just take on a defensive sort of attitude, and it's not an excuse, right, for issues or behaviors, right, that we're doing, because we've been abused. But the issue is it's part of my life, and I have to really watch that. I push really decent people out of my life that I love dearly because hey, I don't trust anybody. Nobody gets that close to me. And it's been a rough ride, absolutely. I just wouldn't wish this on anybody, and that's why it's so important to stop child abuse. We have to keep making strides and keep trying. There's a whole world out there that just loves to abuse children, and it's really pathetic that this world is the way that it is. Children cannot protect themselves. They have no way of really getting help. Nowadays, it's a little bit better because there's kids help phone lines and stuff like that, and people are much more aware about child abuse now because people are shouting out about it. People whose voices came long before ours, long before mine, and that's why I figure, hey, I'm just going to keep doing it and keep trying to make as much noise as possible. I donate all the money that I make from my books to help stop and prevent child abuse. I've never taken any money for those books, and um, I don't sell a lot of books, but the books that I've sold, that money goes directly to not-for-profits that work to stop and prevent child abuse. So important to me that while I'm here, I could try to do something, right? Just to be a voice, just to add my voice with all the others. That was my goal, and it still is. It was never really about me, even though it is because it's about my story. But I wanted people to know what it's like to grow up abused. But it's really about these children out here, who are dying, and all the ones who died before, who didn't make it. And it's about all the people that have killed themselves because they were abused. They didn't make it. And, so many people's lives have been tragically ruined, because they're either killed as children, or they kill themselves as adults, or they just live these horrible lives because they were abused. And so that's why I decided, I'm just going to go public and I'm going to just talk about these issues and be real about it. And, it's not a show. It's not really a show, as you can tell. It's my apartment in Calgary, Alberta, where I've been for a long time. Um, it's not a show. It's about real, true realities of people who have been abused and how hard it is to come through that. And it doesn't really matter what age you are. As a survivor of abuse, I didn't even start my healing journey until the age of 42, 41 and a half. So, it took me that long to basically hit rock bottom to where I realized that I seriously needed help and that I needed to do something if I wanted to live and to have a decent life. And so that was 14 years ago that I started my healing journey now. And I didn't do the main bulk of it for till 2009, so that's 12 years ago. So 12 years of working through the issues, and that's all been done on, like it's all here on my videos, which were a lot of them are audios turned into videos because I wanted to be able to put them on YouTube. But it's just me talking through the issues. What are the issues, and what have I had to do to try to overcome these things? And the last few nights have been pretty horrible. I was talking to a friend of mine, and um, you know, I've sort of not had flashbacks or anything like that, but just realizing that I've got some PTSD. Um, I I'm sure I'm still not you know healed from all of this, and I just definitely need to work on some stuff. And so what I'll probably do is just go back and do some of the things that I know that work. I'll get into my adult survivors of child abuse toolbox. I've got a toolbox. It's an imaginary toolbox, but some of it are books and stuff like that. And I'm going to get back into and maybe possibly join back up with the support group. I do belong to ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse and More Center program support groups, and I used to run a couple of those, and for Calgary, but it was online, so anybody could join. But I had to stop doing them because my husband was sick and terminally ill and dying, so I couldn't handle that stress and trying to run the group and all of that, so I just let it go. But there's lots of groups out there, and I may join one because I do need that support. So I can sort of see when I'm starting to, I'm not making progress anymore, and I'm starting to go down backwards in my healing journey, and I can see, that's sort of going on. And I don't want that. I was making great progress, and just so that you all know, I mean, my boss is a perfectly nice lady. She's not out to get me. I just had two horrible bosses in the last 3 years, and I'm just assuming every single person I'm running into is going to be just like them, and they're just going to hurt me and make me feel bad and throw things at me. And I don't tolerate that. I don't take abuse off of anybody. You know, like I had to take abuse as a child because I just had to. There wasn't anything I could do about it. But as an adult, I do not let people mistreat me. But because my boundaries are so solid, like I've talked about on previous shows, I tend to kind of boot everybody out of my life, and it's pretty lonely. It's kind of like, okay, you're all gonna hurt me, you're all gone. It's like, there comes a point where we have to really assess the situation and give people a chance. I haven't even given my boss a chance. I've been working at this company for a year, and but it's work. It's remote work, and so I feel that I don't know my boss really. I really don't. I haven't been able to work with her, so I kind of feel a little bit strange. It's like I don't know. Does she know what kind of person I am? I do care. I care about my job. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Um, and but that I do care. One of these people that just does care about everything, really. Maybe a little too much. But the thing is it's better than not caring at all, which is what I grew up in. My parents didn't care. And they didn't care if they hurt me, and they didn't care if they hurt each other, and they didn't care if they hurt my siblings. And they just didn't care. So, but I do, and that's got me here today. Is because I cared enough to stay alive and get some help, you know, and not kill myself and not overdose on it, from drugs, and get off the drugs and start taking care of myself. So what have I been doing lately? For my survivor friends who are sort of following along with my videos, Well, like I said, I'm working on getting better shape, and I'm actually really doing it now. I'm still vaping and stuff like that, so I haven't quit that. But I have started to eat a lot healthier. Um, I was just eating very unhealthily for a long time, and kind of because I don't have a lot of money to buy healthy stuff. But I decided this time around, the last time I went to the grocery store, I said, "That's it. That's it. I need to get in better shape." And a lot of it is, I just don't eat properly. So I'm like, I need to start buying some healthy food options. So I'm like, all right, okay, I know what healthy food options are. I'm almost 60. I'm like, okay. So I picked up a bunch of stuff that I know is really healthy. And so I'm working on it, slowly working on it. I'm also getting more rest. I'm going to bed earlier, and on my days off, trying to sleep in a little bit later because I have a hard time sleeping. So um, I was completely exhausted. A few months ago, especially, I was wiped out. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I don't have as much pain because the cortisone shots are working. So I'm getting cortisone shots for my hips and my ankle. I asked them if they could just give me cortisone shots for my whole body, and they were like, no, no, it doesn't work that way. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sure that it would. It's working for me. It's a wonderful thing, because I've had a year of not being in agonizing pain that I was in before because of my bones and stuff like that. So, joints and bones, all this bad arthritis and broken bones. And so I'm really starting to feel actually a lot better, right? And I did, you know, apologize to my boss and, you know, hope that she knows that, that I know that she's a good person. I believe that she is. And I thought that when I met her at the interview, and I still think it now. Actually, I like her more now than I did then, because I can sort of see how she really is, right? She's a good person. I haven't dealt with very many, you know, decent people in my lifetime, except for my really good friends, which I adore my friends because life is good when you have some good friends. I've got some of the best ones. So, um, it's 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 doable, you know, and we just need to make sure that people that we do know, um, you know, we want to have friends. We want to have connections with people, but people can hurt us because people are not perfect. Just like we could hurt somebody else. I've hurt plenty of people. I know I have. I've had to apologize and be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I need to make it right. Because I'm not incapable of hurting anybody. Neither is anybody else. We're all capable of hurting somebody or hurting ourselves or hurting each other. The issue is we need to really work hard not to. And I really expect that from other people too. You know? So I do look after myself. I do stand up for myself. I've never been the type to let people run me down or run me over, as an adult, as a survivor of abuse. I'm like, no, I had to take that growing up, but I don't have to take it now as an adult. And I'm really strong about it. And, you know, it's a good way to be because at the end of the day, I have to be okay with myself, really. I have to be okay with me, who I am. I can't change other people. People can't make another person change, to suit their needs or whatever. But at the end of the day, ultimately, I'm responsible for my life, and I have to be okay with myself because I'm stuck with myself. This is my life, and I can't blame somebody else for it in the situation that I'm in. So I realized a long time ago that I am actually not unhappy as a survivor of abuse. I miss my husband very much so. He's my best friend. Cecil Torner up. I miss him dearly. He was a good man, and he was funny, and he was cute. And we were like two peas in a pod, even though we were very much different. He didn't grow up abused, and he had no idea what it would be like to go through what I've gone through. But he saw the aftermath of it, and he didn't love me because he felt sorry for me. He just loved me for who I was and who I am. And he never tried to change me. He just let me be me and do my thing. And he was just a really good man. And I miss him dearly. It's been very difficult. Um, you know, It's been almost 4 years. August will be 4 years since my husband passed away. So it's been tough. Hi, Kay. How are you? Yeah, I'm finally back. I decided I'm going to start doing some shows. I did a few prayer shows and stuff like that, but April is National Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Awareness Month down in the States. So I'm in Canada, but it doesn't matter. I always do some broadcasting in April, and so I've decided I'm going to broadcast every day of the month of April, child abuse prevention and child abuse prevention awareness information for the month of April. Because I don't know, how long I'll be able to do that. And I thought, you know what, this is maybe a good last opportunity to just do another round of broadcasting. So I'm looking forward to being back here regularly starting tonight. So, tonight's show is really just about adult survivor issues, troubles that I've been having lately, and kind of going backward in my healing journey, and what I'm going to have to do to try to, you know, sort of overcome that and move forward in my healing journey. Because I'm still working on stuff, and until something happens, I don't realize that I've even still got problems with it. It's like, oh, here we go again. I'm doing the same thing. I'm self sabotaging. Okay, all right. And I got to go back to step one and say, okay, what am I doing? I need to build from there back up because I need to strengthen, that little leg on the stool that's sort of teetering, and it's like, okay, I got to get that put back on properly. So that's what I'll be doing now for the next, probably for the summer, and maybe get back in touch with, like I was saying, with ASCA, Adult Survivors of Child Abuse, um, and start attending the meetings, just online, and getting some support that way. So that's probably what I'll do. But I'm going to broadcast, I'm going to try. Actually, I'm just going to do it. So I'm not going to say I'm going to try because when I say I'm going to try, it just doesn't happen. So I'm just going to be here every night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's when I'll be here, and all about child abuse prevention awareness for the month of April. And I hope, if you're joining me, I hope you'll share my work and my info. I've been working at this for really for the better part of 10 years, broadcasting and working with AU4H, Adult Advocates United for Humanity, with Donna Shear and Lee Roberts for a while, actually a couple of times off and on. They're my besties, and I love them dearly. They've got a petition on change.org, and that is a wonderful petition that they have going, and I hope that you'll check it out. Actually, I'm going to post the links to this in this video and also in my community discussion area. So I'll have links to that petition. So yeah, in cases, we have found that it's a lifelong process. It's normal. We got this. Trust the path. It's a lifelong journey, and we can do it. That's exactly right. And yeah, because a lot of times as survivors of abuse, I've talked to many, and I think I've been there myself many times. How long do we have to keep going through this? How long? How long? When will I be healed? When am I gonna? It's a process. It's a journey. And one of my friends actually said that she does believe that she is actually healed, and I'm happy for her, and it's wonderful. But it doesn't. It's like you've said, trust the path. That's right, and just stay on it. Because I know I get off of it because I'm busy doing life, right? And then all of a sudden I realize, like, wow, I still have work to do, and that's okay. That's all right. It's just about sticking it out and not giving up. That's my big main message always. I always say it everywhere on all my stuff, and it's important to me because sometimes we feel like giving up, but that little thing inside of me, that little fight, that's always been there. That's probably why I'm still here. Says no, we're gonna get up. We're gonna keep going. And that's the key to this healing journey, is to not give up on yourself. You know, we've been through enough, and we do deserve so much better. We deserve so much better. We did not deserve to be abused. So, you know, like, yeah, that little part of me, that I picture myself, that little girl that I was, really struggling hard, like every day, just to fighting, just basically to stay sane and, stay alive, and then later not kill myself, right? And get off the drugs. And, it's, now adult me is doing much better, you know what I mean? But the issue is I still, that little fight in me says, no, I'm not giving up, not ever, because I did not, I didn't do this to myself, but I'm left with the aftermath of it. But if I want to have a good life, then I have to make those changes, and I have to make those, those. I have to make my life better. I'm the only one that can do that. I'm responsible for my own adult life, right? So I had to start making, changes, and I'm, in every way. So not just physical changes, but also emotional changes, how I thought, how I felt about myself and about life. We also have to get our physical change, physicality, physical location stuff good too, right? We have to not be in an abusive environment. We need to make sure that we're setting boundaries. There's a lot of work to be done. And I mean, I did a lot of work, let me tell you. I really did. But I'm still working on it, like I said. So thank you, Kay. I appreciate you being here. That's very nice. It's nice to hear from you. It's nice to see you. And um, you know, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend here coming up. And I'll be back on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. with the Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month info. And mainly that's what I'll be talking about. Probably throwing in a little bit of adult survivor stuff just because I'm talking from my own experience. But mainly it's to talk about children and their need to have their rights protected. They have the right to life, and they have the right to a good life. And they have the right to love. They have the right to be alive. And so people, killing and maiming and, you know, abusing children, this is ridiculous. And it's always been ridiculous. And I'll just keep speaking about it, right? I don't mind, But we'll talk about some current events. We'll talk about some stuff that's going on that I saw in the news here today, and stuff like that. So I hope that you'll join me. And, you know, and if you don't, that's okay. But get involved. Do what you can to help save a child's life. I'm serious. There's plenty of stuff out there you can get involved in. And, I'll be sharing some links here. And that's awesome, Kay. I'm there too. Right on. Yes. Yeah, we have to, all of us have to stand up for children. You know, we do. Because they're counting on us. They don't have, children being abused have no one to count on, right? We need to change this for the children. Sorry to say, the children of today, it's too late. The children of tomorrow, we need to change this for, right? Because we could work to change this so that we could save their lives, right? So important. So, and as a survivor of abuse, you hang in there. Do not give up. No, no, because life is hard. It's hard for everybody. Even people that weren't abused find that life is hard. So it's double hard for us. But that means you need to find support. So seriously, if you need help, contact me. My contact info is here on YouTube. It's everywhere. You can get a hold of me if you need support or resources or some advice about, some helpful resources that I know of, um, or some groups, that are trustworthy, because I do know about those too. And so, if I can help you, let me know. Otherwise, if you can't cope and you don't know what you're going to do, and you're just like, I don't even know if I can go another minute. I don't even know if I can go another second. You need to call a crisis line. You really do. Sometimes we don't have people to talk to around us. Sometimes we're just on our own. Who are we going to call? You call a crisis line. You stick it out. Because I made a promise that that's what I would do. I will no longer. I am staying alive. I am not going to commit suicide. I'm not going to finish off the job that my abusers wanted to finish off and didn't get to. So I'm not going to. I'm not finishing the job for them. I'm going to stay alive and have a good life, and that's what I've done. And good life for me doesn't mean millions of dollars and life on the beach. The good life is like, I'm not being abused. I stand up for myself. Um, I enjoy life. And so like I didn't used to. So that's what I'm saying. I know how hard it is to be on the other side of this. I really do. And I mean, it's some days it's tough. Some days I don't. Some days, to be honest with you, I'm just like, man, I don't even know. I don't even know if I really want to be here. And I do say that because I'm just being honest with myself, and I'm just being honest with all of you. But that other part of me says, no way. That little girl that I was, you know, being beaten and tortured and raped, that little person that I was is like, do not give up on me, man. Do not give up on me. So I'm not quitting on myself. I'm going to keep going. And that's the toughest job. That's the toughest thing you could ever do. Um, is to is to is to keep going for yourself, right? So that's what I want you to do. Stick it out with me, people. Do not give up. Not ever. That's right. And we we never will. We're not going to give up. That's right, Kay. You have a wonderful night, and hopefully I'll see you again. I'll be back on the whole month of April. And so you take care, everybody. Like I said, you have a hard time, call a crisis line, call somebody, because there's good people out there that do care. You just have to make a call, and or get a hold of me, get a hold of somebody. You stick it out. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you soon.